What if I told you that everything you've been taught about prayer, manifestation, and your connection to the divine has been backwards? What if the very words you speak dozens of times each day are either creating your dream life or keeping you trapped in patterns you desperately want to escape? There are two words that hold more creative power than any technique you've ever learned. Two words that were placed within your consciousness, not by accident, but by design. Two words that, when understood and spoken with true awareness, don't just change your circumstances, they reveal who you've always been. This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about wishful manifestation. What you're about to discover goes deeper than any method, any ritual, any practice you've encountered, because when you finally understand the sacred nature of these two words, you'll realize you've been carrying the key to transformation within your own voice all along. The ancient mystics knew this secret. Modern quantum physics is proving it, and now neuroscience is showing us exactly how these two words literally rewire your brain and restructure your reality at the cellular level. But here's what most people miss entirely, and why their manifestations never seem to stick. They're using divine language to reinforce human limitations. They're speaking creation into existence, but creating from the wrong identity. And until you understand this distinction, you'll keep running in circles, wondering why nothing truly changes. So let me ask you directly, are you ready to stop chasing what you already are? Are you ready to discover the two words that don't just describe your potential, they activate it? The story I'm about to share with you changed everything I thought I knew about manifestation and prayer. In the final days of his teaching, Neville Goddard shared something he had kept hidden for decades. Not because he wanted to withhold it, but because most students weren't ready to receive it. In a lecture that would become legendary among serious practitioners, he dropped a truth so profound that it shattered centuries of misunderstanding about our relationship with the divine. He said these words with quiet certainty: "The I am within you is God, not a symbol, not a metaphor, not a spiritual concept to contemplate. A living truth that operates through your consciousness every moment of every day." But here's where it gets profound. When you truly understand this, not intellectually but experientially, you realize that every time you've said, "I am tired," "I am broke," "I am not enough," you haven't been describing your circumstances, you've been creating them. Because those two words carry the creative force of the universe itself. Think about this for a moment. In the biblical account, when Moses encountered the burning bush and asked God for his name, the response wasn't a title or a description. It was, "I am that I am." That name, that creative identity, now speaks through your own voice, every single day. And this is where modern science becomes absolutely fascinating. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research into neuroplasticity reveals something extraordinary about this process. When you consistently attach specific states to "I am," your brain literally restructures itself to match that identity. The neural pathways strengthen, the biochemistry shifts, and your body begins producing the hormones and neurotransmitters that correspond to who you believe yourself to be. But most people are unconsciously hypnotizing themselves into limitation. They wake up and immediately begin reinforcing old patterns. "I am stressed about the day ahead. I am worried about money. I am not where I want to be in life." Each statement isn't just describing their current experience, it's programming their future reality. The mystics understood something modern science is just beginning to prove. Consciousness isn't produced by the brain. Consciousness uses the brain. And when you speak with conscious awareness of your divine nature, you're not hoping for change, you're commanding it into existence. This is why spiritual traditions across cultures have always emphasized the power of sacred speech. Because language isn't just communication, it's creation in motion. Your words are literally sculpting your tomorrows, and the most powerful sculptor's tool you possess is contained within these two simple words. Now let me show you exactly what happens in your brain the moment you consciously declare, "I am," followed by your chosen state. Within minutes of focused intention, a cascade of neurochemical changes begins that literally reconstructs your neural architecture. Dr. Dispenza's research shows that your brain starts producing different neurotransmitters, your heart rhythm changes, and your entire nervous system begins reorganizing itself around your new identity. This isn't positive thinking. This is biological transformation at the cellular level. When you say, "I am abundant," with genuine feeling and conviction, you're not lying to yourself. You're giving your nervous system permission to release the biochemical signature of abundance. Your brain begins forming new neural networks that support abundant thinking, abundant decision-making, and abundant behavior. But here's the crucial distinction that determines whether this works or fails. Your subconscious mind responds to feeling, not just words. If you say, "I am wealthy," while feeling poor, your body knows the difference. Your cells know the difference, and your reality will continue to reflect the feeling, not the words. This is where most manifestation attempts fall apart. People mechanically repeat affirmations without engaging the emotional and energetic state that matches their words. They're essentially trying to convince their subconscious of something they don't truly embody. And the subconscious always wins this battle. The breakthrough comes when you understand that "I am" isn't just a phrase, it's a gateway into a different state of being. When spoken with awareness, these words don't just change your thoughts, they change your entire energetic signature. They shift you from hoping for something outside yourself to remembering what's already within you. Quantum physics reveals that at the subatomic level, matter is mostly empty space held together by invisible fields of energy and information. Your consciousness, your awareness of being, is the field that organizes these quantum possibilities into physical experience. When you consciously declare "I am" from a place of knowing rather than wanting, you're literally collapsing quantum potential into manifested reality. This explains why some people can manifest rapidly while others struggle for years with the same techniques. It's not about the technique, it's about the state of consciousness from which you're operating. When you truly embody the understanding that "I am" is the creative principle of existence speaking through you, your words carry a different frequency entirely. Your brain begins producing alpha and theta waves associated with expanded consciousness. Your heart generates a coherent electromagnetic field that can be measured several feet from your body. Your entire being becomes a broadcasting station, transmitting the frequency of your chosen identity into the quantum field that responds by reorganizing physical reality to match. But this transformation requires more than intellectual understanding. It demands a fundamental shift in how you relate to yourself and your own consciousness. You must move from seeing yourself as someone who has divine potential to recognizing yourself as divine consciousness having a human experience. And that recognition begins in stillness, in a practice I want to share with you right now. Every morning, before the world fills your mind with its demands and distractions, there's a sacred window of possibility. In those first moments of awakening, your brainwaves are naturally in a theta state, the same frequency associated with deep meditation, creative insight, and profound healing. This is when your conscious mind is most receptive to new programming, and your subconscious is most malleable. This is your invitation to return home, not to a place, but to a state of being, to the truth of who you are beneath every story, every limitation, every fear that has accumulated over years of human conditioning. Right now, as you're listening to these words, find a comfortable position. If you can, close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply into your heart center. With each breath, feel yourself settling into the present moment. Notice how in this stillness, there's no past to regret and no future to worry about. There's only this eternal now where your true nature waits to be remembered. Place your hand on your heart and speak these two words with reverence. "I am." Don't add anything to them yet. Just let them resonate through your being like a bell struck in silence. Feel how these words seem to arise from a place deeper than your thinking mind, deeper than your personality, deeper than your human identity. I am. Notice how in this simplicity there's a sense of completeness. You're not reaching for anything external. You're not trying to become something you're not. You're simply acknowledging the pure awareness that has always been present, watching every experience, surviving every change, remaining constant through every season of your life. Dr. Dispenza's research reveals that when you rest in this state of pure being, what he calls the generous present moment, your brain begins producing profound neurochemical changes. Stress hormones decrease, healing hormones increase, and your entire nervous system shifts into a state of coherence and regeneration. As you continue to breathe and rest in the vibration of I am, begin to sense the vastness of your true nature. You're not just this body, not just this personality, not just this collection of memories and experiences. You are the conscious presence in which all of these phenomena arise and dissolve. You are the space in which thoughts appear and disappear. You are the awareness that remains unchanged whether you're happy or sad, successful or struggling, healthy or healing. This isn't a concept to think about, it's a reality to embody. And the more you practice returning to this recognition, the more naturally it becomes your baseline state throughout the day. You begin to move through challenges from a place of unshakable centeredness. You respond to situations from wisdom rather than reactivity. You make decisions from abundance rather than fear. From this place of pure awareness, from this recognition of your divine nature, you're ready to speak creation into form. But understand this, what you're about to do isn't affirmation, it's activation. You're not trying to convince yourself of something that might be true. You're declaring something that already exists in the quantum field of infinite possibility. Take a deep breath and feel into the area of your life where you desire transformation. Whether it's health, relationships, abundance, purpose, or peace, connect with that desire not as something you lack, but as something that already exists in potential, waiting to be called forth through your conscious recognition. Now, with your hand still on your heart, speak from the deepest truth you can access. I am whole. Feel how these words resonate differently when spoken from presence rather than from need. Notice how there's no desperation in them, no grasping, no trying to make something happen. There's simply recognition and declaration. I am abundant. Let this truth move through your cells, not as a future goal, but as a present reality. Dr. Dispenza's research shows that when you feel gratitude for something before it manifests physically, your brain can't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. It begins creating the neural networks and biochemical signature of abundance immediately. I am love. Notice how this isn't about finding love from someone else or becoming more lovable. It's recognizing that love is your essential nature, not something you have, but something you are. When you truly embody this understanding, you naturally attract experiences that mirror this vibration. I am guided. Feel into the truth that the same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets and the beating of your heart is available to guide every aspect of your life. You don't have to figure everything out through your limited human perspective. Infinite intelligence is your birthright. Continue to breathe into each declaration, allowing it to saturate your being. Don't rush this process. In quantum physics, observation collapses the wave function of possibility into particle reality. Your focused attention on these truths is literally causing them to crystallize from potential into form. The key is to speak only what resonates as truth in your heart, not what your mind thinks you should want. Your heart has access to intelligence far beyond the analytical mind. It knows what's in alignment with your highest good, what's ready to emerge, what serves not just your personal desires, but the greater pattern of your soul's evolution. As you practice this sacred speech, you may notice resistance arising. Old patterns of thought might surface, questioning whether you deserve what you're declaring, whether it's realistic, whether you're just fooling yourself. This is normal and expected. These are simply the voices of conditioning trying to maintain the familiar, even when the familiar no longer serves you. When resistance arises, don't fight it. Simply return to the breath, return to the heart, return to the recognition of I am without any additions. From this place of pure being, the resistance naturally dissolves because you're not trying to overcome anything. You're simply remembering what's always been true. The more you practice this form of conscious creation in stillness, the more natural it becomes to carry this recognition into every moment of your daily life. Because transformation isn't something that happens only during meditation. It's something that happens when you live from the truth you've remembered in silence. As you move through your day, begin to notice how you've been unconsciously using I am to reinforce limitation. Catch yourself in moments when you're about to say, I am tired, I am overwhelmed, I am not good at this. These aren't casual observations. They're creative commands that your subconscious and the quantum field receive as instructions. Instead, pause in those moments, take a breath, reconnect with the deeper truth you've discovered in stillness. From that place, choose your words consciously. I am energized by this challenge. I am capable of finding solutions. I am learning and growing through this experience. This isn't about denying difficult circumstances or pretending everything is perfect. It's about relating to challenges from your essential nature rather than from victim consciousness. When you identify primarily as divine consciousness having a human experience, you naturally respond to difficulties from a place of curiosity, resilience, and creative possibility rather than from fear and limitation. Dr. Dispenza's work reveals that our personality creates our personal reality. And our personality is simply a collection of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that we've repeated so often they've become automatic. When you consciously choose how you relate to yourself through I am statements, you're literally redesigning your personality and therefore your reality. Pay attention to how differently you feel when you walk into a room thinking, I am confident and at peace, versus, I hope people like me and nothing goes wrong. Notice how your posture changes, how your breathing shifts, how people respond to your energy. You're broadcasting a different frequency, and the world reflects it back to you. This practice extends into your decision-making process. When faced with choices, instead of asking, what should I do, try asking, what would someone who embodies your chosen identity do in this situation? If you've declared, I am abundant, how would an abundant person handle this financial decision? If you've declared, I am peaceful, how would a peaceful person respond to this conflict? You'll find that answers arise naturally from this elevated perspective. Solutions become obvious that weren't visible from fear-based thinking. Opportunities appear that you might have missed when operating from scarcity consciousness. This is the practical magic of living from conscious identity rather than unconscious conditioning. The transformation often happens gradually, like the way dawn slowly brightens the sky. You may not notice dramatic changes immediately, but over time, you'll look back and realize your entire life has reorganized itself around the truth you've been consistently declaring and embodying. Some days will be easier than others. There will be moments when old patterns seem stronger than your new awareness. This is part of the process, not a failure. Each time you consciously return to truth, you're strengthening new neural pathways and weakening old ones. You're training your nervous system to recognize your divine nature as your default state rather than an occasional peak experience. Remember, you're not trying to achieve perfection. You're practicing embodiment. Every moment offers a fresh opportunity to choose how you relate to yourself and your experience. And each conscious choice builds momentum toward the life that's waiting to emerge through your recognition of who you truly are. But here's where it gets truly miraculous. When you consistently live from this recognition, when you embody these truths day after day, something extraordinary begins to happen in the invisible realm. The quantum field, that invisible matrix of pure potential that underlies all physical reality, begins to reorganize itself around your new vibrational signature. Dr. Dispenza's research into heart-brain coherence reveals that when you maintain elevated emotional states consistently, your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. This field carries information about your internal state, and it literally influences the behavior of people, opportunities, and circumstances in your environment. When you embody I am abundant, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing the electromagnetic signature you're broadcasting into the world. The field responds by bringing you experiences that match this vibration. Abundance doesn't have to be chased, it's attracted by the frequency you consistently emit. This explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities while others struggle despite tremendous effort. It's not about working harder, it's about aligning your being with what you desire to experience. When your identity matches your intention, the external world has no choice but to reflect this coherence. You begin to notice what spiritual teachers call divine orchestration. Phone calls come at precisely the right moment. You meet exactly the right person in an unexpected place. Solutions to long-standing problems suddenly become obvious. Resources appear just when you need them. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence between your consciousness and the responsive nature of reality itself. But here's what many people miss. This process requires faith in the invisible realm. You must continue to embody your chosen identity even when external circumstances haven't yet caught up. You must trust that the seeds you've planted in consciousness are growing roots in the quantum field, even when you can't yet see the fruits of manifestation. This is where most people give up. They declare their truth, practice for a few days or weeks, and when they don't see immediate external changes, they conclude it isn't working. But consciousness operates on a different timeline than the physical world. There's often a delay between internal transformation and external manifestation, a gestation period during which the new reality is forming in the invisible realm before becoming visible. Your role during this time is not to doubt or push or manipulate. Your role is to remain faithful to the truth you've recognized about yourself, to continue speaking from your divine identity, to keep choosing elevated emotions over familiar limitations, to trust that every moment you spend in alignment with your highest truth is contributing to the reorganization of your entire life experience. The mystics understood this process intimately. They knew that creation always moves from the formless to form, from consciousness to matter, from the invisible to the visible. They knew that everything you experience in the physical world first exists as potential in the realm of pure awareness. And they knew that by consciously working with this principle, human beings could become conscious creators rather than unconscious victims. As you continue this practice, you may find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. What you thought you wanted from the level of personality might transform as you connect more deeply with your soul's true calling. This is natural and beautiful. You're not just manifesting a better version of your current life. You're allowing your life to become an expression of your highest potential. The two words, I am, have the power to transform everything because they connect you directly to the source of all creation. They remind you that you're not separate from the divine. You are divine consciousness expressing itself through human experience. And when you live from this recognition, speaking these sacred words with awareness and reverence, your entire existence becomes a prayer in motion, a song of recognition, a celebration of the infinite creativity that flows through you. This is your invitation. Stop seeking what you already are. Start being who you've always been. Let I am be the gateway through which your highest truth emerges into the world. And watch as reality itself responds to honor the divinity that has been waiting patiently within you all along. The words have been spoken, the recognition has been given. Now let your life become the living proof of what you've always been. Infinite consciousness expressing itself as you.